Hello, gorgeous ladies of Le Narrateur. This is Module 2 of the Art of Storytelling. I love this program. Storytelling connects people. Storytelling helps people relate to us so much faster. Storytelling gets a point across at hyperspeed. Storytelling is a transmission. Storytelling is an art. Storytelling makes public speaking so pleasurable, but also storytelling brings people together even in intimate settings. So it's a skill that you are going to use in your life all the time, whether on camera, off camera, at a party, on a stage, on a podcast, in your coaching programs, in your life. This is the most fabulous life skill that I have. I am so proud of being the one when I start telling a story that people get excited. Grown adults, small children, teenagers. When I get into storytelling time, people get excited because it means they're gonna feel something, because it means they're gonna learn something, because it means we're gonna have a good time. And this is the power, this is the art of learning to become Le Narrateur. It is such a pleasure to be here again. Can you believe it? Module 2, it's been a month since we did Module 1 already. I'm freaking out. Let's see who's on live. Hello, Diane. Hello, Anna. Hi, Sue. Hi, Mary. Hello, Yinka. Hello, Christina. Hello, Hemi. Petya. Mary, hello. So excited you're here. Hi, Katie. Hello, Monet. So good to see you. Hi, Eliane. Hi, Tracy. Hello, Jen. Carolyn. Tracy. Theo. I'm so happy, Theo. Hi, Kristen. So happy to see you. Hi, Steph. Hello. Hi, Crystal. Elizabeth. Story time with Lenny. This is true. This is true, Katie. Hi, Christine. This is going to be a fun time. Hi, Kristen. So, we're going to jump right in today. By the way, I found out that I'm not cool anymore. Don't know that I was ever cool to begin with, really. But I found out that I am officially uncool. I'm officially uncool because of my skinny jeans. I'm officially uncool because of my side part. And I'm officially uncool because when I laugh in a text message, I send a crying laugh emoji. And apparently, this now means you're old and not cool. So hello world, Melanie Ann Layer coming to you live from being uncool. Gen Z says on TikTok that I'm not cool. So I'm owning that. It's part of my new identity. The uncool millennial. So proud of myself. All right. So, storytelling. Who says you're not cool? Yeah, Diane, you're not cool either because you rock the side part. We're both not cool. So it's okay. We break the mold. We just be uncool. We'll make it cool to be uncool. Right? All right. Let's dive into today's module. So what I'm excited about today is I'm going to start to show you the embodiment and the experiential aliveness that is required inside of your body when you're going to be an extraordinary storyteller. So what you're going to do is you're just going to get aware of your body right now, because the crazy thing, especially when we're doing Facebook Live, and this is a big part of the storytelling masterclass, because we're using Facebook Live, we're using social media, we only have a tiny little box. We don't have the whole fancy side effects or, things, light shows. We don't have the dimming of the lights. It's live. Like we got to bring the show ourselves, right? So we've got some props, but the props are like our clothes, our hair, our hands, our face. These are our props. So we've got to learn how to kind of embody our body, because there's such an energy when you show up on a camera. So I could show up and have a very energy just in my body language. Hey, everybody. The fun thing for me is after having done this for a while, my brain will also connect a voice to the body. So when I'm like, hello, ladies, it kind of goes with this. Hello, ladies. If I'm going to be like this, you're going to get more of like, hey, girls. Hello, ladies. There's a different identity that comes with your body language. So if you even want to test this for yourself, just notice what it would look like potentially to look at yourself in the mirror and slouch and see what kind of voice wants to come out when you see yourself like that. And what kind of voice wants to come out when you're standing up straight and your hair's got va-va-voom like that and you're like, What kind of voice wants to come out when you're feeling like that? What kind of voice wants to come out when you're being a little... What kind of voice wants to come out when you're being a little sneaky? What kind of voice wants to come out? So because we don't have props, we've got to use what we've got to bring life into what we're talking about. Because if not, it really just is one of these, hello, Facebook Live, how are you today? If there isn't any movement, if you're not alive, if you're not like, it's just... See, you can use your lashes as props. You can use silence as props. That's a whole situation, right? So when you start playing a little bit with the energy that your body has, you're going to realize there's identities that you hold in your body. Even ways that you are might remind you of something. Like if I go like this, I'll kind of have a little voice that wants to kind of come out like that. If I do that, there's like a little thing that I want to do when I do that. When I slouch, I saw Ross from Friends. It's so funny. You know, you may have a little other different voice you find when you're doing other things. It just kind of, there's just an energy maybe, perhaps, that's attached to certain things that you do. You're going to notice that there's ways that you move your body that bring out a certain alter ego part of you. There's a sexy, sassy part of you. There's a like silly part of you. There's so many different parts of your identity, and a lot of it is kind of coded inside of your body. Like my small child identity, she slouches a little bit. There's things she does with her face. There's sounds she makes. There's things that happen when you start to use your body with what it can do. They've got us. When you think of a small child, there's things. The small child, there's things, right? When I do the finger monkey, there's a finger monkey. There's something that exists in these identities. And you don't need to have this like full character, like, oh yes, I know this character. Her name is Suzette. She takes long romantic walks along the living room with her pet poodle. Her favorite color is puce. And she prefers the sound of the evening frog to any other sound. Her preferred artist is Michael Jackson. She tried the moonwalk once, but hurt herself. Like, you don't need to know everything about the character. You just need to have a vibe. Like, there's something about each person that you're embodying. But why these characters matter is because they hold a feeling. So what we want is to be helping people feel something. So every single time, how very dare you, right? You've got feelings. How very dare you? How very dare you? You are going to have identities that are like, so you're pure shock and disbelief. What? How very dare you? You have the baby goddess. The baby goddess is when this is unreasonably upset small child that doesn't get what she asked for or is really not happy about it. You have parts, but why do they matter? Is because they're connected to an energy. They're connected to a feeling. And that feeling, when it's transmitted, actually needs and requires a lot less words to be felt. This is why sometimes I can literally, I was getting a phone call, I apologize. This is why in a story, instead of saying, and I was like, what on earth, right? I can just go, so like, and you know exactly what that means. There's a feeling that these things mean things. So a thing with the art of storytelling, what I love this so much about Facebook, is that you can see yourself. And this, if you do not embody what I'm telling you, could be distracting, but if you do embody what I'm telling you, it's actually easier to do when you can see yourself. Because you can see how crazy you're being. You can see the silliness. You can see which parts of you are being shown inside of the screen. So, you could be sneaky. I'm going to do this. You can see what I'm doing. You can see this is the space I have. So you can be very intentional in that space. Now, the idea is not that you're constantly putting on a puppet show. That's not necessary. It's not like you've got to act the whole way. That might not be your thing. But what starts to help you is to notice when you're telling a story, when you're able to use your imagination and really see if you can see the scene. Can you imagine what's happening? And not just say it like you're recalling, like you're being the person telling a story, like we were talking about in the first module, talking about a story that happened, but more so using your imagination, like all of a sudden you're in the story. And when you imagine the person at the front desk who's like, oh no, I'm very sorry, but we're not going to be able to give you that room, even though we promised that we would. It's like, what's my most annoying voice available? Even if that's not the way they sounded, it doesn't matter. One of the things that actually really helped me was doing this with animals, like figuring out animal voices, because sometimes it is difficult and we don't want to feel like we're mocking people, because when it's a specific person, sometimes we get in our head, and the goal of storytelling is not like to mock people. The idea is to connect people to something. So like for those of you who did the money masterclass with me when I was talking about the frog is in the water. The frog is in the water, and you slowly turn up the water, and then all of a sudden the frog is like, oh, it's very warm in here. This is very cozy. I feel, this is a bath or something. This is lovely. And then next thing, whoop, the frog is at frog's legs. There's something about the frog. For some reason, the frog, in my imagination, he is French. And he is bathing in the pot of water. And he is relaxing. And he is having a bubble bath. Next thing, he is being dipped in butter and being devoured. Poor frog. So there's a vibe about your characters. So for me, for some reason, The frog is French. Why was it the frog? I don't know. But the frog was French and he was a cook, the French cook. He's just a frog. There's this whole identity. There's a frog in the water and there's this whole experience. Which is such a different thing of me saying, so imagine there's a frog and the frog is in the water. So there's a frog, the frog is in the water, and then you turn the temperature up. I'm talking about the frog. But when I am the frog, the story's different. So when you're moving in and out of speaking about the characters and then being the characters, it's so easy to listen to these stories. Melissa, my son is loving this training. Mom, she's teaching adults. We're too old to play. I love it. So this is what connects us to our audience, because the truth is, what really feels good is when we laugh, when we smile, when we get annoyed together, when we're in disbelief together. We want to feel people's stories, but when we don't feel them, they take forever. So if you're not using your imagination, your stories feel like they're taking a very long time. People just want to get to the point. But when you're a good storyteller, the entire story is pleasant. But this is in the realm of imagination. So what's going to be fun for you to do is start to look at what's available for you. What kind of facial expressions do you have? Just for fun. Turn your camera on for you and just look at yourself in the mirror, in the camera, and record it. But just kind of be like, okay, what would it look like? All the ways where you could look. What's this emotion? Like, what is this emotion? Unsure. Like, what is that? I don't even know what the word for this is, but you feel the feeling, right? Of like, So I can try to explain and figure out what the name of the emotion is, or I can just show you. It's like frustrated, annoyed. What about this one? Suspicious, skeptical. And then there's the like. So there are the tiniest little tweaks that change the face just a little bit. So you could just look at yourself in the mirror and look at all your faces. Like, what other faces do you have? Because you know what the fun thing is? You're going to realize that in spoken word, you don't use those words a lot. When's the last time you said suspicious or disbelief or skeptical or frustrated in a written post? What I found, dubious, like that's an amazing word. But we don't use a lot of the words we know. As a matter of fact, most people have a series of words and they don't go outside of those words. They use an amount of words that feel safe and cozy, and they always use the same words. These nuances is another fabulous word. These nuances, discombobulated, change just slightly the energy of your story. There's a difference. So what I love about this is it also enhances your vocabulary. And it has you speak just a little more spot on with what you want to say. One of the things that people recognize me for a lot is that I speak just a little more, like I have the word. In my posts, in my spoken word, I have the word. You know why I have that? Because I Googled so many words in the dictionary when I first started dating Kevin. He'd say things and I was like, trying to put it in my smartphone. Word is not recognized. Can't even spell the thing he just said. Well, this is going fabulously well. Oh, great. There's a word in the definition that I don't understand. Just give me a moment, Kevin. I'm just trying to figure out the heck you're talking about. Just, okay. Yes, I agree. Yes, totally agree. So there were words I didn't understand, and then there were words in the definition about the word that I didn't understand. So I started to deepen my, like, who says, let's say, it's like dubious. Like, what's that? What does that even mean? Who says incredulous? Why would you say that in a conversation? Are you trying to upset me? I'm French Canadian. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, why are you using these words? This is not necessary. But what happened is eventually I kind of liked it. Because if you use the really great sentence, and there's one like just overachieving word, people like that. They're like, yeah, that's a great word. Like, there's actually a feeling about a good word. I feel like, yeah, I haven't heard that word in a really long time. Good for you. That's a really great word. A very sophisticated vocabulary. I like that. Haven't used that in a very, I like that. Right? People like that. They're like, what's that word? I like that. This is very good. So, we like to go outside of what we're used to hearing a little bit. It's fun to take people to an emotion they don't see often. In a story. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. See, this is the kind of joke Kevin made me. This is where, like, so for those of you who know the "where's your paddle" joke, Kevin says to me, "What do you call?" I'm gonna mess this up because all I remember is the punchline. But it was like, "What do you call?" I'm gonna mess this up so bad now. How do you call something like a monk with bad breath who's been walking 3 months in the desert? And I'm like, I don't know. I already know this is gonna be bad. You know, like, oh God, please don't say another word I don't understand, please. I don't know. No more jokes. He's like, no, just try to guess. So I'm like, I don't know the word. And he says, you call it a super calloused, fragile mystic plagued with halitosis. I don't know what any of those words mean, not even one of them at all. I don't know what halitosis is at all, and I don't know what a plague is, except if it was like bugs flying, so this makes absolutely no sense. What is a calloused mystic? I don't know what you are talking about. How is this supposed to be a joke? Halitosis, I don't even know. What does this even mean? And I'm like, ha. Then I tell my mother, and she's like, oh, yes, my darling, bless your soul. Here's what it means. So a callus, you know, on your feet when you get those little calluses, super callus. A mystic is like, and now my mom explains it to me, bless my cotton socks. And Kevin, super callous, fragile mystic plagued with halitosis. You want to know how many times I Googled those words to be able to say that sentence all in one? So these are all things, and you continue to date him. I know, it's wild. I must have had an inkling that things were going to go well eventually. So he just had a way of saying things that made me feel indubitably. Why do you say indubitably? What is the point of indubitably? It's a fun word. Indubitably. Calloused mystic, plagued with halitosis. Super callous, fragile mystic, plagued with halitosis. Kevin is an overachiever. I agree. So we've had these moments in our relationship where I was like, what do I do with this man? But it's always been, you know, let's just elevate the game. Like, okay, now I know what halitosis is. That's really great. I'm like, bad breath. Stinky breath. Stinky breath. Halitosis. See, this is the voice I like to use when Kevin uses words I don't understand. Halitosis. Stinky breath. Stinky breath. So, onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. Like, I don't even know what that means. It's fun. So you're going to start to play with things. There's sounds you make that are funny. Like, this is one of my favorites. I don't know why. I really like it. I talk about it when it's like champagne. Champagne, you know, you pop the champagne. Champagne. It's a fun little, I like that sound. So you will often hear me go, because I like it. Because I can do it. It's so good. You stinky fish sticks. It's like, they're like the opposite side of the spectrum, right? The old man says, halitosis. Halitosis is a state of which one person's breath smells horrible. And the baby goddess says, you smell stinky fish sticks. So there are sounds that you might be able to make, and if you can't go, you know what you can go? You can go, you can make sounds that are just, they just uphold your story. I love that some of you are trying these sounds at home, like, can't do it, Melanie. Can't, it's really hard to pop when I'm snorting and laughing. You're gonna find out there's sounds that you can make. Just little things that your face does that other people's faces don't do. My nose kind of crinkles to the side like that. I can do that. It's a little silly thing. So there's paid masterclass on pop noises. Allison, you should come on the next one. Allison is like, if I was so impressed, Allison, by the way, when I saw your demo reels in AFE. Allison's been in like so many incredible shows. Like she was in Castle, she was in just like this incredible reel of things, like acted alongside these most amazing actors, and she's really amazing. She's an amazing actor. I was so impressed, so impressed. So I have a feeling you're probably very good at this. Literally in my kitchen trying. Can you hear me, Tanya? You're nailing it. I feel it. I feel your pop all the way over here. My husband's laughing at me. You're brilliant, and I want to sniff your pretty hair. I love you. Storytelling and sound effects. Storytelling and sound effects. That was hard for me. My hubby just walked past as I was making weird sounds, and the look he just gave me. My face is extremely animated. I appreciate this so much. I remember when because I have a very animated face. This is why I ask people to please not take pictures of me when I'm speaking. And the reason that I ask people not to take pictures of me is because I'm too animated when I speak. So it's like impossible to grab a picture of me where I'm not either like I'm so animated. The chances of me being like there's 99 to 1. I'm gonna look ridiculous in your picture. But if you take a little video of me, I'm gonna look really animated and really cute. But if you take, this is what I look like on the pictures. Like I'm so animated. So the advantage of that is my face is fun to watch when I'm feeling the vibes. The disadvantage is on a still shot. We've got issues. Every time. Bad issues. I got a nice picture. I am excited to see it. I have a feeling we have a very different opinion of my face. So, the beauty of video, so you don't have to exaggerate your facial expressions, but the thing is when you're already a very expressive person in the face, some of these things come naturally to you. In the art of storytelling, sometimes you're going to be very normal. Like you're not going to spend the whole story like, like that's not necessary, but you're going to have moments where you're super normal and then all of a sudden you're going to feel like doing something with your face. And what it does is it breaks the pattern. So when people are watching you, and you'll notice, you watch me on Facebook, I speak, thank you, Sarah, you're fabulous. I'm so grateful. I excel at I love it. I feel like I'm so boring faced. But see, you've never needed to do it. You'll be surprised. You've got a few things up your sleeves. You're going to be very surprised. Oh gosh, Erica, no. I'm expressive when I'm training and I have my students laughing at me. So good. So when you watch an hour to 2 hours of a person speaking, and all it is their face, no props, no scene change, that's a long time to listen to a person speak. So if there isn't some sort of something happening, it's like a trance. So we want to get good at creating different energies. But the different energies are attached to the different emotions in your story. When something like stressful is happening in your story and you're like, ugh, there's like a feeling, like how do you feel when you're stressed in your story? Like you're telling your scary story and you're like, oh my God, I was freaking out. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, I'm terrified. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, how do you feel when you're stressed? You're just like, like, what are some things that you can do? There's things that are going to start to happen in your body. Now, what's going to happen as you start doing things is you're going to have characters. It's going to remind you of things. So same as someone said before, they slouched and it reminded them of Ross and Friends. Where did that come from? Why? But it's because it just reminds you of that. Like when I hear people go, oh, what does that remind me of? Eeyore. My life's hard. I have no friends. Eeyore. So I started doing this Eeyore voice because to me that's what people sound like when they're miserable about something and they're just like, Mom. So it became Eeyore. When I imagine the cutest little excitable tiny little thing, finger monkey that I just want to squish because it's so cute. It's just the cutest little thing. He's a finger monkey. It's the cutest little thing. I want one. They're so small and they don't tail and I just want to. I can see it. This cutest little thing with the little tail. It's so cute. And it's terrified. Meow. When I do this, it's like you can imagine it. How does that happen? There's just something about it. Like the finger, the holding, the finger. Like you can feel it. There's something about that. So whatever your things are that you create, you're going to have an attachment to them because they mean something to you. Like cute things have always kind of gotten me. Non, pas vraiment fait de théâtre. Comme à l'école quand j'étais petite, des choses comme ça, mais pas vraiment fait de théâtre. But there's an attachment to like characters and things that happen. Kissing the pink monkey. You're going to realize that you also have some of the voices, some of the things in the past that you used to listen to, little voices of people. Like there's a woman on SNL that has a voice that sometimes that's the one. I don't know if you ever see it. She's like, don't make me sing. Don't make me sing. It's like she has this, don't make me sing. And that voice that I kind of had the first time I said it, my sister said, you remind me of that girl in SNL. And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what this voice is. That's the vibe of this woman. Like there's another one on SNL. You're gonna see like there's people that get into your soul. And you can imitate your kids. You can imitate. There's one where she's like, she's better than everybody else. I am better than everybody else, and everything is worse for me. And I don't know if you ever saw this one. She's like, and I have a I have a tomato and Liza Minnelli, and she's my friend, and a tomato and Liza Minnelli, and I think it's worse, and I had 2, and I had 3 of those, and I have so many more of you, then I have some more of yours, and I have mine, and mine are worse, and she's got this identity, and it's like, I never realized that identity sunk into my soul. I can tap into that one-upping energy. She reminds me of, like, people remind me of that character. Oh yes, Melanie, I also wrote a program. It's the same as yours. I wrote it last night after I watched yours, and it's the same as yours, and I've called it something very similar to yours, but it isn't yours, and it was my idea. It was completely my idea, and I made it up completely after I watched yours and listened to yours, and mine is better than yours, as a matter of fact, and it's less expensive than yours, and it's really good, and it's really great. I think you should take it. I think you should buy it, as a matter of fact. It's really great. It's really, really, really great, and that's the identity I have sometimes for people. Like, that's the vibe I get, and I'm like, that's like, I will feel that identity. You know, that she has this other identity where she is, she's doing a show. She's this character where she's an actress, and the actress can't get the show right. So it's like, you can't say the magic word or something, and she's like, oh, I can do this, I can play this game, I'm excellent at this game, so the magic word is bird. And it's like, no, you're supposed to not say the magic word. Oh, I did it again, I said the magic word, I'm so sorry. And there's just this, sometimes I have this thing with people where they're like, okay, so what am I doing for my lunch? It's all about your energy. All you've got to do is tap into the energy and stop overthinking things. Okay, I got it. I've got it. So what do I do? No, that's the thing that you don't do. You've got it. Don't think about what you've got to do. Just go be in the energy. Yes, I've got it. Okay, so what do I do? Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to do this thing where you don't ask me what the next step is or what we're going to do or how you're going to do something. You're not going to do that. You're just going to go and be in the energy. Yes, absolutely. I've got it. I've got myself. I've got my notebooks. I'm completely prepared. And I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to say, what do I do? It reminds me. So there are people whose energy remind me of something. I don't know why. Remind me of a little finger monkey. Remind me of Eeyore. Remind me of, even like when I said in my training, Princess Consuela Banana Hammock 64, Princess Consuela Banana Hammock is the name that Phoebe wants to call herself in Friends when something about changing her last name. There's an episode. She calls herself Princess Consuela Banana Hammock. And that tickled me, that tickled my soul. So that name is in my subconscious. So when I'm thinking of a crazy name, which one comes out? Princess Consuela Banana Hammock. Where'd that name come from? There's an attachment to silly. There's an attachment to crazy. There's an attachment. Even when I did inside of the masterclass, when I was talking about playing Monopoly, and this moment where you're playing Monopoly, and you're like, and then, I just want to be good at Monopoly. You know why that was so easy for me? Because I had a scenario in my head. When we were little, that's it. Princess Consuela Banana Hammock and Crap Bag. She's like, so you're going to be Mike Crap Bag? No. First name Crap, last name Bag. I'm going to be Crap Bag. And she was like, you can't be Crap Bag. You're going to be Princess Consuela Banana Hammock. I'm going to be Crap Bag. I will never forget that. This is so funny. This is why the woodpecker sounded like Janice in one of our things. Came out just this Janice sound came out of my mouth. Where do we get these things? They're in our subconscious. But what's amazing is that we know a lot of these connections. So sometimes you'll hear the connection. It'll make you laugh even more because you're like, oh my gosh, what a comeback from something that I already find funny. So we're so connected. I know that identity. I watched that thing. You know who you remind me of? You know who that reminds me of? You look like this. You sound like this. So we even connect even more with people. It's so funny. And the thing with Monopoly is that I remember when I was little, and I used to babysit my brother and sister. We would play Monopoly. Summer break, middle of the afternoon, my brother would be like, let's play Monopoly. And Shannon would be like, yeah, let's play Monopoly. And I was like, oh no, this is gonna be bad because they both cheat at Monopoly. Shannon's probably 4. Let's say Shannon's 6. Shannon's 6, Tom is 8, and I'm 12, and I'm babysitting. Let's play Monopoly! Let's play Monopoly! I want to play Monopoly! 4-hour game of hell. So excited. Count out the money. Shannon, I want to be the bank. You can't be the bank, Shannon. You can't count. Yes, I can. No, you can't. I sure can. I know. Millions, 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 millions. So smart. Give me the box. My brother, I'll be the bank. You will not be the bank. Why? Because you're a thief. You're a small, cute, adorable, lying, conniving thief. That is why you cannot be the bank. Give me the box. Fine. The game's already just started and they're both mad. So what does Shannon do is, well, every time something interesting comes along her, well, she takes the cards or the money or whatever it is and she puts it under her bum. So she's hiding money, she's hiding properties, she's hiding all kinds of things under her bum on the chair. And Tom is doing whatever he's got to do because somehow he's got hotels and nobody's had hotels this entire game, but Tom's suddenly got 4 hotels on the board. I don't know how exactly. So somehow Tom bankrupts Shannon because, family business. And now Tom is so proud. I win. And Shannon's like, and I'm like, we're never playing Monopoly again. As long as we live, we're never playing Monopoly again. So what do? I pick Shannon up off her seat because the way I do, because I'm 12 and she's 6 and she's like a little monkey. Shannon's the finger monkey. So I pick Shannon up and she's like, he cheated. And what is under Shannon's glorious little bum but all of the $100 bills of this game? All of them. To which Tom loses it. You were cheating. You cheated. Tom, you won. It doesn't matter. She was cheating. So the only thing we could do to quiet the chaos was to give them both a Mr. Freeze or a popsicle and stick them in front of the telly for a minute so that I could have some peace. So in my analogy of Monopoly, where Shannon's hysterical and now Tom's hysterical because she cheated and she's hysterical because he cheated, so they're both cheating and they're both mad at each other for cheating, the only solution was popsicles. So what actually came out of my mouth on that training was, put the game away. Go have a popsicle. And at the end of it, Kevin was like, where did the popsicle come from? I was so in the Monopoly trauma that I even remembered the remedy. Put the game away and grab the popsicles. You're gonna have real coded truths in your body that are gonna be so funny. They're so funny. You know why they're funny? Because everybody has stories like this with their siblings. Everybody's got the thing, like the only way is you had to do that, or this was the problem, or this was the thing. And when you're in your story, your synapses will fire when you're in the story. But when you're not in the story, you won't actually go back to those things in your mind. it won't come back because you're not in it. So when I'm thinking of not being good enough and the pain that comes from not being good enough, my most vivid visual of that is my 6-year-old sister trying to beat my cheating brother at Monopoly. There was no better visual to that. The small child, oh my gosh, Uno. See, here's the thing with Uno. My grandfather played Uno with us, and he was very much like, if I don't have fun, nobody has fun. So if there was, because my sister used to hide the cards under her bum at Uno as well, like how is it all of a sudden Shan can go, pick 4, pick 4, pick 4, pick 2, turn around, pick 2, pick 4, change the color, pick 4, pick 6, pick 12, you're done, you're dead. I win. Everybody's like, how come the cards are so bad this round? I don't understand. Shan's like, what are you saying? Pick 4, pick 4, pick 4. Like, where are these cards coming from? I don't know what you're talking about. But then they would fight. And then my granddad would be like, okay, we're putting everything away. So there was zero tolerance for fighting at Uno. So the coding around Uno is different. It's more like anxiety, like fear of fear. Okay, Uno, here's the trigger code in my body from Uno is like, keep the peace. If I want to be able to play this game, I need to make sure that they don't fight. See, when I'm babysitting, they're going to fight. It's going to be part of the thing. They're going to get popsicles. It's going to be fine. But when my grandfather is in charge, if they fight, we're going to have a really boring rest of day. So I've got to moderate the situation. No, they're not fighting. They're not fighting. Nipping people. Stop it. They're not fighting. All is well. La, la, la. Right? People pleasing. Grandfather, can I get you something? A beverage? Something? Please come into the kitchen with me. Looking at my siblings like, I kill you. Like, it is just, there's a different energy. But everyone has a game that caused a fight. Everyone has a memory of a thing. So when you bring these stories back, you immediately connect to the heart and souls of your people. Because we know this feeling. We know the feeling. It's like, oh my gosh, that sounds like my brother. Oh my gosh, that sounds like me. Oh my gosh, my little sister was like that. Oh my gosh, oh my God. We relate to each other. Yeah, we used to play in French. Piche quatre cartes, piche quatre cartes, piche quatre cartes, piche quatre cartes. I'm like, how do you get all the piche quatre cartes? Piche quatre cartes, piche deux cartes, changement de couleur, jaune, piche deux, reversé. Like, how? Change de bord, piche quatre cartes. Where are all these cards coming from? I have had no good cards the whole day. Shannon's pulling them out. So there's memories that remind you of certain things. When you think of something that's not fair, you might think of losing at a game when you were a little kid. You might think of your parents getting mad at everybody. If you were the youngest or you were the oldest, it wasn't fair. There's an attachment to something. And if you let yourself go there, there's an identity that's attached to that. My little brother, that was so proud of winning. Ooh, I win. In his little knickers doing the moonwalk in the freaking living room. Like, I win, you guys suck. Like, he was just a whole energetic thing. Like, he was, this was my, like, just, you can't make it up. Because it's just too real. And Shannon, the cutest little, just like, I didn't do it on purpose. What didn't you do on purpose? Nothing. What didn't you do on purpose? What is it, Shannon? What did you do? She cheated. She cut her own hair off. She whacked someone over the head with something because they wouldn't let her play with something. But it's the same little thing on her face. I didn't do it. I didn't mean to hurt her. I didn't do it on purpose. There's an identity. There's a person. The sneaky giggle. There's a person in your mind that reminds you of this behavior. So Emotional intelligence and healing is so important because when you don't do the healing and you can't let yourself touch stuff because it brings you back to things that you haven't healed. But when you've done the work around it and you can just find the humor in it, there's like, oh my gosh, there's so much humor and there's so much connection and there's so much realness because you're not inventing things. You don't need to be an actress to recreate a real feeling in your heart. I don't know how to act something, Shan. You don't have to be an actress to recreate something in that happened. It's really happened. You know, like, you want to know what sheer pain feels like for a small child? When our mom wouldn't let us watch TGIF if we fought. Thank God it's Friday. On a Friday night, we used to watch Boy Meets World and Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Tarzan and all these shows on a Friday night. And we used to get these little candies and we used to have to split them all individually, equally, so that we wouldn't fight. But then my brother would eat his super fast, and then he'd try to eat Shannon's. And then I would be taking my time with mine like a grown-up, and then I'd have a bunch left over, and they'd both want to eat mine. And then I'd say no, and then they'd scream, and then my mom would say, share them. And I was like, no, it's not fair. They ate theirs already. And then everybody would go to bed. And like the sheer excruciating pain felt in the body of us when we were told, no TGIF tonight. I remember the feeling. Do I need to be an Oscar-winning actress to remember the look on my brother's face? Like, oh no. No, Mom. Please, Mom, I promise. We'll be nice. Please. It's there in my heart. I feel it. When does that happen? When you're so just disappointed, you're so upset. Can you just do a regular series about your family? So we have these feelings in our bodies. There's things that you'll remember that will trigger your emotional memory. And you've got to play with your mind. You've got to play with your sounds. You've got to play with the looks on your face. You'll remind yourself of people. There's a thing that you do. There's a look on my face whenever I pull it by accident. I'm like, oh, that reminds me of my mom when she used to be mad with me. Very disappointed, like this, you're in trouble look. Like I see that on my face sometimes. I can see the laughter, the laugh that I used to see in my dad's eyes when he laughs. Like I see the looks on my faces sometimes, and I'm like, I'm going to keep that one. I remember this has a feeling, this has a vibe. And I can connect with you so much more in my storytelling because there's a code. There's like an energetic transmission that occurs in this kind of laugh. There's an energetic code that occurs in this kind of cry. There's an energetic code and a word that differentiates this look from this look. And it's a fraction. But when you start playing with these emotions, you're going to realize how much you actually have in here. You're funny. You're stressed. You're nervous. You're anxious. You're wild. You're crazy. You're funky. You're sexy. You're sweet. You're cute. You have so many things. There's emotions in here. And when you start looking at these emotions that you can have on your face, you're actually going to have different words that are going to come in to your head that you haven't used in a long time. And you might actually start, even in written word, creating something that's more advanced than you normally would and use words outside of your normal vocabulary. There is so much space for connection in the slightest little details of a story. And it doesn't mean you've got to be through the roof all the time. It doesn't mean that you've got to be funny all the time. And yeah, it takes getting comfortable. So at first you might just want to do it for yourself. You just might want to tell stories. But the fact is, people just love it either way. And what I found, and this is where my 365-day Facebook Live challenge really came in handy, is like, I don't really want to take myself all that seriously, that I wouldn't want people to see me like this because maybe I'm going to pull an ugly face, or maybe I'm going to, it's like, we're all human. We've all got halitosis in the morning. We've all got sillies and funkies and quirkies and intense and boring, and we're all of it. So if I'm trying to make my freedom controlled, I'm never quite going to set it free. So one of the greatest things I discovered in my 365-day challenge when I did it was all the faces I had, all the accents I had, all the things that were actually available in my head, the things that reminded me of. My brother's ears must be ringing. That was my brother. But I remember some of them still are, yeah. And I remember, like, one of the things that I was teaching in the story of the little red hen, you know, it's like when I'm teaching stories like fables, then it's even easier because it's like, okay, there's who is in this story. And then we can go back to what I taught you last class, which is like, okay, so who in my life kind of represents that hen energy, and who represents the dog energy, and who represents the cat, and who represents the mouse, and when. And then it becomes easier and easier to create those stories because there's an energy behind all of it. But if I'm trying to do it perfect, I miss out on it. Sometimes I pull a silly face. Sometimes it doesn't quite look right. Sometimes it looks weird. Sometimes I'm like, I watch the replay. I'm like, whoa, that was close to the camera. I do think I let myself be alive with you. And I think that this is the difference, is you gotta like let the screen melt. You gotta just be with yourself. This is the cool thing about a Facebook Live, is you're really being with yourself. When you're speaking to an audience, you're watching the people in the audience and it's them laughing, and it's, you know, and it's for sure, it's fun when I see your little bubbles and when I watch the comments going and I can tell you're having a good time. It's a good feeling, but there's a feeling that comes with being connected, and it's such a freedom. You don't take yourself too seriously. So this is going to be the place where I speak the most about the 365-day Facebook Live challenge, because if you're going to do it, I recommend that you do it for you. I recommend that you do it to sharpen your skills and to connect to people. In my 365-day Facebook Live skills, what I really, really learned, first of all, is how to read comments and look in the camera and be able to go back and forth like this and speed read, so that I'm still connected to my audience and not getting completely like, this would be a very different experience. When you look at us, where are you looking on your camera? It feels so intimate. Oh, that is a very great question. When I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking into my eye. I just look at my eye. So if I look right in my eye, I'm looking at you. Did you get a lot of engagement at first? No. So it's like there's such a different energy when you don't know how to just, I don't know how I manage 365 days, but it scares me. You know, there's just this thing. Start with 21. I did 21, 21, 90, 90, 365. How do you look at yourself and the camera? I don't look at the camera. This would be me looking at the camera. It's in the way you position the phone. Eye to eye. It's allowing me to do and feel connected, download powerful lessons from my past. That's awesome. When you suggested a 30-day challenge, it completely upped my game. That's so good. Yeah, just on your personal page. What are your best topics for 365-day lives? This is the thing. You can do whatever you want. Do storytelling. Storytelling. Fables, tales. Retell a segment of the story of Aladdin, how you would have written it. What's something that you're like, this is actually a really strange message? Haven't you noticed? Like when I broke down the little red hen, like you're gonna realize that there's inspiration everywhere. This is me when I'm on lives trying to read the comments. So this is one of the things that I've really learned from doing this work. This is amazing. I legit was telling a story to myself right now out loud. It's animated and good. I'm like, this is working. This is what, now you're gonna have even more fun doing this inside of the group, right? Getting comfortable with being myself while connecting. It's hitting in my heart. Did you do it on your personal page? On my personal page, and then I grew my group, and then I was ping-ponging back and forth. So what I do, can you imagine when you FaceTime people where the phone would be? That's where you put it. Like the phone is here. It's like, I could hold it at arm's length. It's at arm's length of me, and it's where you would hold it when you're holding a phone. I'm FaceTiming you. I am FaceTiming you. Okay, it's okay to be stressed. That happens in the beginning. You're going to be stressed, and then eventually you're going to get better. Did you just respond to a download in your mind? Can you say around about what you spoke about every day? Every day was different. Every day was different. But what I did do for a long time was like the fables, right? So there was the little red hen. There was the lion and the mouse. There was the crow and the crow and the fox and the crow. So no, I'm not looking in the camera. I'm looking at my eye. This is me looking at the camera. So if I were to look at the camera, it'd probably look like I'm looking above you. How can you see comments with the phone positioned like this? It's just... My comments are here. I look at my eyes. If I look at the camera, I would look up here. Sometimes I'd walk around. When I'm doing trainings that are paid, I like to be sitting down so that you really have my focused attention. So, let's continue. Where are we? How long have we been going? Oh my gosh, we've already been going an hour. So, we want to use our imagination. We want to tap back into feelings that we already know exist. And you can do this like, you choose a fable, you choose a tale, and you just break down the characters and you see how you feel about them. How do you feel about the characters? So, like when I said the little red hen is a manipulative shrew. So, how do you feel about her? How do you feel about the little mouse that just is so neurotic? Who in your life is like that? How does it feel? What's their vibe? They're stressed all the time. Oh, no. You guys go. I don't have time. I've got to do this and this and this. You guys go. I'm going to figure it out. You feel that energy in your body. Who is that? Oh, yeah. My song. Just my song. We got to set the table. Yeah. Come in. It's just my song. Just my song. This has been your song for the last 20 minutes. Yes, my song. Who's that person? Because if there's a real person, your imagination will take you somewhere. So one of the things that's the most powerful is that emotions and senses really lock in memories. This is why you'll go and you'll watch a movie and you'll remember the lines of the movie by heart, but you don't know your own license plate number. Like you could watch a movie you've watched 300 times and speak at the same time as the actor, all the lines. And then people at the hotel are like, yes, could you please tell me your license plate number? And you're like, yes, it's a white Ford, and it's I have no idea. Is it a new car? No, I've had it for 8 years. Oh. Actually, it's not. Most people don't know their license plate number. Please don't feel bad about yourself. So this is why, because there's no emotion in your license plate. Unless it was your new car, you're freaking out, you named it something special, like, I'm so excited, my license plate is Alpha 01. I know my license plate, but if it's like 32Z553, well, I don't know how I remember that. But I remember all the words to the Backstreet Boys songs, all the words to the Spice Girls songs, all the words to Britney Spears, all the words to Christina Aguilera, all the words to the Night at the Roxbury movie, all the words of Bring It On, all the words. How do I know all these words? I can't remember 6 letters and numbers on the back of the car I've been driving for 8 years. I still remember first boyfriend's phone number. Don't remember my parents' new number. No? Like, what? There's a feeling. There's an emotion. Why don't we remember things? Because there's no feeling. So it helps when there's a feeling attached. So when you ask, how do I remember everything? The stories help me remember. So sometimes even in a training, I know what point I want to drive home. I have specific stories I know I want to tell. And those stories will bring the entire training together. If I remember the story, I can go everywhere with it because there's so much cellular memory in the story. I'd be like, oh, I also want to tell you about this, about this, about this. This is why when you first meet someone, you tell stories to each other. You first meet a person, you spend all evening talking, telling each other stories. It's the most connected thing to do. Tell stories, tell stories, tell stories. Your grandparents tell you stories. Your kids want to know before bed, tell me a story, story. I want to feel. So we want to make people feel in our world. This is the key to them remembering our information. This is why you remember Baby Goddess. This is why you remember the finger monkey. This is why you remember that night of me and Kevin and the gratitude and the, the pieces of chicken on the barbecue and the pepper on the barbecue. This is why you remember these stories. You remember the snowflake. You remember these stories because I remember these stories. There's a feeling about them. And you'll remember me more because of the stories. And you'll remember what they were about. You'll remember pineapple season is coming. There's imagery, there's analogies. Now, analogies are like smaller scale stories. If you can't handle a big story, you're going to have a hard time with analogies. Because one of the hardest things to really nail a story is you've got to be confident enough not to talk too much. We talked about this in the first one. When we start going like, okay, so let me just start from, okay, so this thing happened to me, you're going to freak out. Like, oh my God. Well, let me just start. Actually, I'm going to tell you, this actually started like last week. Actually, okay, real truth. You want to know the real truth? Last year, well, 2 years ago. Okay, let me just start from the beginning. So I met this person when I was a kid. How much of this is necessary? So anyway, all this to say that it was closed, the place, and we used to go there all the time. Why? Why do you think I need to know that? Why? Because I think you need all this in order for you to care about the fact that this place was closed as much as I do. I won't care that the place is closed as much as you do. No, but you don't understand. It was when I was a kid, and then when I was growing up, and then 2 years ago, and then 1 year, actually 3 weeks, and then none of that makes me care more. Did something happen there? Do you have a story about there? Did something happen about there? Is there a funny story, a sad story, a scary story? Is there a story about the place? No, then I don't care that it's closed. We want to tell stories to fill space and fill blanks, and we go too far and we say all these things, and at the end it's like there's no punchline. So we're not going with the end in sight, and we're starting too far early. So an analogy is when you literally take the biggest part of the emotion and create a little snippet with it. And that happens the more you're keying off and you're firing off synapses in your brain that connect emotion and thought. And this is a skill that comes with time. So we're going to be talking about analogies a little later inside of this program. Because for now, what you've got to get good at is connecting things. A facial expression that reminds you of a thing. An expression that reminds you of a thing. A look on your face that reminds you of a thing. Just look at yourself and think of all the emotions you could think of. And just do all these faces, then watch it back and write as many emotions as you can think of. Re-energize the human. And play with, you remember the time I was doing the thing, I don't know where on earth the thought to do this came through. I was like, you put your head in the wrong hole and you're like, Rah! Like when you put your thing up the arm sleeve. I don't know why I did that, but it just, no, I did not study storytelling, but I want to share with you how I've become better at it over the years. So these are the practices. These are the things that I've recognized. These are the things that I've noticed that really hold an audience. But I did not study storytelling, but I feel like it's something that I'm good at. And I've been asked to talk about this a lot. So after a few years of people asking me to do this, Because I used to think nobody really wants to learn this from me. Who's going to buy that? Who's going to buy a storytelling workshop for me? It's people just watch me and they'll know. And then when we put it out there, the response was crazy. The response was so crazy. And I've received so much feedback from like lives are more enjoyable and programs are more enjoyable and so much more connection, and that your kids enjoying your stories more and your partner's not getting bored at your stories. Like I've received so many private messages about this program. It's insane. Like you don't understand. My husband let me finish my story tonight. I started with a punch in the beginning and I didn't talk too much, and I'm like, this is amazing. So I'm really glad that I did it. I'm really glad. That's so cool, Caroline. I love that. This was my wish come true, manifested. See? So this is what your homework is going to be. You're going to keep going live, and you're just going to do it and practice. Tell stories that make you laugh about when you were a kid. Tell a scary story that happened to you. See if you can get into the energy of it. This is the group where you get to just do it. You can just tell people, baby goddess will make an appearance and everyone will buy. Oh, I love that. So you're just going to practice because you're going to find your own way. And the goal here is not that everybody all of a sudden starts looking like Melanie Ann Layer in their Facebook lives. You have different characters than I do. You act different than I do. Your facial expressions are different. You look different. It's going to be different for you. But you're going to tap into your things in your life. Like, what do I remember that makes me laugh? And who are those people? So my tripod, this is a Stella Diva 2 ring light. And I just plop my phone in it. That's my setup. It's pretty easy. And if you don't remember much of your childhood, watch a Disney movie. Watch a Disney movie and see how you connect to the characters. See if something brings things up for you. For me, this course changes my energy while listening to you, tapping into your energy. I love that. I notice you also read people's comments as different characters, and you do it with such speed. So this is what I was actually saying to you before. What it did for me to do a 365-day Facebook Live challenge is it helped me be able to be here and be here at the same time without completely losing myself and losing the audience. Really being able to navigate this. This was a skill. The next thing is getting to know people. Like even now I'm seeing people and I recognize you from years ago. I'll see your little bubble pop up and I'm like, I know the name, I know you. It's like I built a really strong connection to my audience. It wasn't just about people knowing me, it was about me knowing them. That was really the most life-changing thing about that 365-day challenge. It made me realize real people are watching me. It stopped feeling like leads on the internet. It started feeling like human beings in their house watching. And I did not do a speed reading course. 365 days of Facebook Live did this for me. And it will be sometimes a little harder, but when I first started doing my lives in English, my native language is French, and I read French, so I had to read English faster than, French is my language, so I had to read English, speak English, and I managed it. You'll be able to do it. Katie, you're in a lavender field on yours. I know your bubble. You're on the side and it's rows of lavender fields. I know your bubble. Excuse me very much all the same. So and I see Jennifer Bubbles right now with her green background. Did you sell on your 365-day Facebook Live? See, there you are, Katie, with your bubbles. So I did, and then Theo Bubbles and Brooke Bubbles. I did, but the whole thing wasn't about selling. And I see Lynn, and I see Kristen, and I see Luana. You guys are testing me. Mary Bubbles. Mel. Oh my gosh, Joanna. Stop it. You're so funny. Carla, everybody's testing me now. Erica. Okay, stop it. Nicole, stop it. Stop it. LV, you're so funny. Do you know mine? I feel so seen. Okay, stop. I love you. You're beautiful. You smell nice. Now stop it. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to practice. And what I really want you to do, if it's possible for you to hop in here when someone is live, test them to do something. Stop with the bubbles. Well, I don't stop with the bubbles, but I'm going to stop thinking it's so that I name your bubble, Rayma. So here's what we're going to do. When you come in live, I want you to try to build a connection with the people that are in here. If you ever happen to have someone here that's live, connect with them. See them. See if you can notice the little bubbles and the pictures. Obviously, sometimes it's hard. People change their faces, change the little profile picture. So it isn't always easy because people change their stuff. But when you know people and they show up on the little thing, you'll be excited to see them because some people like and they don't say anything. So you're like, oh, you're there. I can see your little bubble on the side. So it connects people. And something that's really fun that you can also do is go on and give people, say, okay, do this, try to do this persona, or try to do this, emotion. And if you're in the mood, like you can write in your Facebook Live, give me ideas and different emotions. What we'll do is we'll start an emotion thread or a scenario thread, and any idea you have, we'll put it on the thread just for fun to give people inspiration. And you can try different energies and different emotions and different thoughts and different feelings and kind of just try stuff just for fun. Because this really is to try to disconnect from looking perfect and doing it right and people thinking, why did you do that and who's that? So we're gonna get you outside of your comfort zone so you can practice. I have laughed with some of you. I have watched you. I have felt, I have cried. I have watched some of your lives in like stress in my body. Like, oh my God, you guys are doing so well. And I love, some of you have been really committed. I've seen a lot of you practice a lot in here. I think that's awesome. It sounds like improv, but a lot of it is improv. Someone says something and it reminds you of something. Someone says something, a story reminds you of something, a whole storyline gets created. So it's your ability to tap into a feeling and create a train of thought. The art of storytelling is the ability to connect through stories. So the faster those stories connect to you, the better. And they connect through emotion. They connect through different sounds. There's little sounds, there's little noises, there's little things. Eeyore. Meh. Shmish. There's little sounds that will come out of your mouth. Like, where does this even come from? Just stop taking yourself seriously. There's an aliveness in your body. And when you let it out and you let yourself be expressed, even if it's just in this group and when you go on your profile, you're not talking like that, just the fact that those sounds are available, those looks are available, these ways are available, it's going to start to feel freer in your body. And when you're on camera, it's not going to feel like you're just trying to behave for people. It's just going to feel like it feels good. Could you upload a few of your Facebook Lives that you did in here? If you go to my video section on my Facebook, they're all, like, I'm sure most of them are still there. I don't remember deleting any of them, so they should still be there. A lot of them should still be there. So, on this note, freedom. You want to really just set yourself free. Set yourself free. Set yourself free from the judgment and the fear that you're not doing it good enough, and just feel back. And you can rewatch yourself, but don't rewatch yourself to see if you look pretty and if you look silly and if you said too much. Do it to see if you can feel feelings. Like, could you connect to something there? Was there something, or are you just talking at things? Right? You want to feel the feels. By the end of this, Eva, you're gonna make sure I know your bubble. You're like the purple robe, but don't change your profile picture ever, or else I won't know who you are anymore. Oh my gosh. So ladies, have fun. Play. I'm seeing Monet bubbles. Have fun. Play with this. I know that you cringe, but it's like, how are you going to connect to people when you hold yourself trapped? People want to feel you. They want to feel you. If you don't let you feel you, freedom. Yes, Braveheart. So you want to be able to really connect to you so people can connect to you. If you can't connect to you, they can't connect to you. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to do good. It doesn't mean you're not going to do well. You'll still sell, you'll still do well. But what makes people be able to listen to you for literally, look, what time is it? An hour and 20 minutes. Has this felt like an hour and 20 minutes to you? It's like watching a show. You laugh, you feel, you think, like time just collapses. It's so powerful. You can get your messages out. You'll be able to teach more. The reason I'm able to hold the AFE the way that I do and teach as much as I do in so little time is because people actually enjoy coming on when I'm talking. Because the amount of content I have in my programs, if you remove the stories, I would not be able to sell as much as I do. People would be like, I just can't listen to this much. But because it's funny, it's just like a show, like watching a movie or watching Netflix. So I'm able to deliver more content. I'm downloading magic into your subconscious mind through humor and storytelling, infiltrating the mind. See, this is my voice for infiltrating the mind, and this is the symbol. This is now the new symbol for infiltrating the mind. Infiltrating the mind. Sounds like Voldemort a little bit, like Harry Potter. Give me the stone. Infiltrating the mind. That's the voice that comes through. It's not like I'm not inventing. There's just a person that comes through. I don't know why. That's the sound. That's the voice. I don't know. But there's connections. There's voice, heart, sound, look, feeling, movement, connections, and you're gonna feel them. When you start moving your body, you start connecting to your feelings, you start plugging back into your childhood, you start connecting, you're gonna see. And some people might say like, oh no, see, to me you sounded more like this or that, depending on the movie, depending on the thing. You're gonna have so much fun with this. So that's what we're gonna do. 2 different homeworks. The first one is help screenshot Sarah. First thing we're gonna do is a thread of like scenarios. You want to act this out. You want to tell us a story about that, or emotions you can embody. Words, emotions that people can do. Lives don't have to be short, but what I would say is in here for people to watch them, the shorter, the better, if you want people to get through the whole thing, to start practicing. And also for my, it is the same, but it's less scary than the spiritual teacher. The spiritual teacher's like, it's more wise. It's more like and more maybe, it's still British a little bit. The spiritual teacher is more of a mystic. It's more of a... This one is more like... There's more of a... I feel there's an energetic difference. One is evil. One is wise and calm. Like, that's the thing. Like, even without saying anything, there's a tone. There's an energy. There's an energy without words even. There's a thing. There's no sound. There's no word. There's an energy. You're going to play with all of this and just feel the vibes. It's going to be fun. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is to come practice in here. Shorter lives means the alpha team can see. The chicken nugget voice. Yeah, chicken nuggets. Like, I'm a little chicken nugget. When I invite me a little chicken nugget, so you little proud chicken nugget. This is my little proud chicken nugget voice. Like that. Kev's so lucky to have me. That's so funny. My husband's going to wonder why I'm watching The Secret of Pets. I love that. Now I'm peeing. Yay! Oh, well, I have very much enjoyed this time with you. My son and I are watching and eating ice cream, and we're enjoying you so much. I'm so happy, Alexandra. Can you sing to end, please, mate? Sarah, what? No. What? I don't even know what to sing. Okay, how do we end this with a song? When you and Kevin have kids, between you, storytelling, and his puppet, that child will be entertained. Chicken nugget swag. Oh my gosh, can you even imagine if we made little baby onesies? And the little baby onesies had a little chicken nugget on it? And it had little chicken nugget feet and little chicken nugget hands? I think we need to make chicken nugget merchandise. Baby nugget, baby onesie chicken nugget. Don't make me sing. I must be more consistent here because it's a safe place to express and practice. It is, Lana. It really is. The Little Mermaid song. Oh gosh. Baby goddess singing. It's just, I don't know why, but for me, like a little chicken nugget is like a little person chicken nugget, little baby chicken nugget. It's just something that I said. Chicken nugget, all the things. Little chicken nugget, chicken nuggets. There's the turkeys who are the people who are like turkeys. And then there's chicken nugget. Chicken nugget is a tiny little chicken nugget. I know, Nicole. I'm working on things. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create some sort of artistic piece for you for our next module. So you're gonna have to wait for it. That's what you're gonna have to do. I'm gonna create an artistic piece for you. Because the thing is, the beauty of this is when the synapses fire, magic happens, or you gotta create something and plan it, right? Rap baby got back. Like, what has this become? Ladies, let's be professional. This isn't an important business training. What do you even mean, rap baby got back? Who do you think I am? Chicken nugget baby onesies would be the best. Yes. So enjoy this. Practice. I'll come back with a song for you on one of our next 2 trainings, probably the next one. We have to make sure we gift you everything chicken nugget for when you have your baby shower. Oh my gosh. Do we have a picture of us playing Monopoly? I highly doubt that anyone would have been proud of that moment. I think it would be, if there were ever pictures of those moments, they would be burned. Like, let us never tell anyone that this is who we are. Namaste. That's basically what it is. Okay. I had the best time. Thank you for being here. Have fun. I can't wait to watch you in secret because I don't like or comment on stuff so that people aren't like, you don't like me. You commented on her thing and not my thing, and my thing was I really wanted you to see my thing and you didn't write on my thing. And then you think I don't love you, and then it's really unfortunate. So instead I'm sneaky and I watch you sneaky and you don't know I'm there. But you're doing an amazing job. Honestly, I've already seen so much improvement. Some of you have been doing this quite a lot, so it's going very well. I don't think there is a chicken nugget background story. I'll just have to talk more about it, Sarah. I will do better for you. All right. For the millionth time tonight, I love you. You're beautiful. You smell nice. And I will see you next month for Module 3 of Le Narrateur, the art of storytelling. Wouldn't it be cool if I could do that? And the video ends. Let me try if I can do this really fast. Le Narrateur, the art of storytelling.